Thank you. Good morning. My name is Kevin Law, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for this Thursday, November 21st, 2024. I apologize for not being with you in New York City. I have 5 things on Long Island today, including a wake I need to attend, and so I cannot join. And just as it would be, the train I normally take on the Long Island Railroad was canceled this morning. So it was meant to be that I'm here live in Millville with you at the Long Island Regional Office. Again, my apologies. I'll ask the board members who are present to identify themselves so I could recognize if we have a quorum.
Hope Knight, President, CEO.
Benson Martin, designee DFS.
John Wong, board member.
Francine Del Monte, board member.
Myself, so I will recognize we have a quorum and we can conduct our business. If we could just go around the table and have the others introduce themselves as well.
Noah Raymond, Chief of Staff.
Arden Sokolow, EVP Real Estate.
Liz Luskin, EVP Small Business and Technology Development.
Ray Salabarrios, SVP Small Business Technology Development.
Simone Bethune, Roads and Grants.
John Spivak, AVP Life Sciences.
Karan Mehta, Senior Director, New York Ventures.
John Evan Hornsby, President, Empire State New Market Corporation.
Tony D'Alessio, Deputy CFO, Controller.
Ray Orlando, Chief Financial Officer.
Felisa Hawkeye, Director of Compliance.
Goldie Wexel, Deputy General Counsel.
Joshua Bloodworth, General Counsel.
David Whipple, Senior Director, Strategic Business. James Costomlot with Strategic Business.
Well, thank you, everybody, for participating. By the way, I hear you all loud and clear. I hope you can hear me as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind staff members joining us remotely today to please mute your audio until you are ready to speak. The public, as always, was given an opportunity to attend today's meeting and to provide comments on the agenda item. I believe we have 3 members of the public in attendance today from the U.S. Embassy for Peace organization. So if you are there, welcome. In addition, the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by noon yesterday. I state for the record that no comments were received from the public regarding today's agenda. As always, the directors received the written materials in advance of today's meeting, and of course are free to ask questions at any time during the presentations. At this time, I will ask if there are any directors who have any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda today. And can you state so for the record?
Before we do that, Kevin, I ask the folks that are on the phone to please mute your lines. We're getting a tremendous amount of feedback. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Debbie. I thought that was you guys shuffling papers, and so I'm glad you mentioned that because I was hearing it as well.
DFS has potential conflicts on 4 items. The New York State Loan Guarantee Program, the Airport Concession Disadvantaged Enterprise Fund, the Community Memorial Hospital, and finally, the State Small Business Credit Initiative.
Great, thank you, Benson. So I'll recognize them as items 1B, 1C, 2E, and Roman numeral number 4, A through D, and we'll do that again when we get to those items. I will also recuse myself on the Life Sciences Initiative Fund Item 3A, which relates in part to Stony Brook University, which many of you know I am the chairman of the Stony Brook University Council. So hearing no others, we'll note those recusals for the record. Our first item of business is the approval of minutes of October 17th, 2024. I will move them. Hope seconds them. Are there any comments, revisions, or additions to the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. The motion carries. I'll hand it over to our President and CEO, Hope Knight, for her President's report.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, directors. I was up in Albany yesterday for a state Senate hearing on the economic impact of tax incentives and how we use them to generate growth throughout the state. Under Governor Hochul's leadership, New York State is seeing unprecedented levels of investment and job creation in next generation industries. Much of this activity, economic activity, is made possible through ESD's portfolio of targeted incentive programs. The hearing was an opportunity to discuss why we feel and how the data shows that our programs are working. And I look forward to continuing those discussions with Governor Hochul and the legislature during next year's state budget process. Last week, I joined Governor Hochul for the 14th annual MWBE Forum in Albany. This year, we celebrated our fourth straight year of utilization exceeding 30%. That represents nearly $3 billion in public contracts during the last fiscal year. We also unveiled the official New York State MWBE certified decal, which businesses can use digitally or in traditional brick and mortar applications. This was a great event. It was well attended with lots of great discussion, and I want to thank Jason Clark and the entire MWBE team for their hard work to make this such a great success. Also last week, I joined my colleagues from our Mid-Hudson regional office for the groundbreaking of the Barrel Factory Apartments in Kingston. This project will create a 100-unit mixed-income housing development.
Should I send an email to the help desk regarding my speakers? Okay.
Mixed income housing development featuring 20% affordable units. This was the second groundbreaking that I've been to in recent weeks that was supported by the Mid-Hudson Momentum Fund. And I look forward to others as we continue to help advance Governor Hochul's bold housing agenda. So in closing, Thanksgiving is next week, and I hope everybody's able to reconnect with their family, friends, and take some time off. I want to thank my fellow directors for the time that you dedicate and service to New York State. I want to thank the tireless and talented staff at ESD who help support economic growth throughout the state every day. I wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. And don't forget to support your local small businesses during this holiday season, especially on Small Business Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hope. Hope, I saw the articles about the hearing in Albany yesterday. And, it seems like almost like an annual issue that some of the legislators have concerns with the film tax credit program. Rather than a public hearings type of session like you had to participate in yesterday, have we ever sat down with them sort of one-on-one to try to walk them through the program and try to educate them on why we believe the programs have merit and should continue? Because I know it's sort of almost like a traditional punching bag of a program. Have we ever tried that?
Yeah, we have had individual discussions with legislators around the program. We've talked to them about the program.
Got it. Well, they seem to have annual concerns, so we should just always make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and buttoned up on that program, because I know it is important, as other states would love to take away all that film production from us. Thanks for participating in that hearing yesterday.
Absolutely, Kevin.
Do any of the directors have any other questions for Hope on her report? Great. Okay, thank you. So we'll continue now with the corporate actions. We have 2 items and requiring 2 separate votes. And we have Ray Salabarios, our Senior VP of the Division of Small Business and Technology Development and Capital Access Programs with us today. Ray?
Oh, yes. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and directors. To foster a robust, inclusive economy, Staff is requesting the approval of the New York State Loan Guarantee Program, leveraging $50 million in State Small Business Credit Initiative capital to unlock $200 million in private bank capital. This initiative is designed to enhance access to credit for businesses across the state, particularly those owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. The program is a critical step toward addressing the persistent financing gaps faced by these business owners, enabling them to grow, thrive, and contribute to the economic prosperity of New York State. And I'll answer any questions the directors may have now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Ray, do you try to promote that, and market it with the various, I know out here on Long Island, we have a African American Chamber of Commerce, a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which are primarily small businesses and may be able to take advantage of programs like that. And I'm sure the other regions have similar organizations. Do we try to promote this program to them and get the word out?
Yes, if we get it approved, we will begin the outreach program. We're working very closely with the regional offices. They're providing us a list of their most trusted partners, and we're gonna outreach directly to them. We're working with the Independent Bankers Association so we can talk to small community banks, specifically those who do a lot of work in upstate New York. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but we're ready for the challenge.
Great. Thank you, Ray. So this is a item that Benson is recusing himself on. I will move it. I see John Wong will second it. Any other comments or questions for Ray? We have no comments from the public. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. And with noted Benson's recusal, the motion is approved. Ray, continue with item number 2.
Thank you, yes. Staff is requesting approval of a $50 million Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Fund, or ACDBE. ACDBE is a federal initiative administered by the U.S. Department of Transportation to ensure that disadvantaged business owners have a fair opportunity to participate in airport concession contracts. These businesses are often involved in retail, food, beverage, car rentals, and other concessions at airports. The proposed New York State ACDBE fund would address a critical gap in access to capital for ACDBE certified firms, especially city-owned firms that seek to participate in airport concession opportunities. By leveraging the Metropolitan Economic Revitalization Fund and the State Small Business Credit Initiative capital, New York State can provide the financial resources these businesses need to effectively compete for and participate in ACDBE contracts. Thank you, and I'll answer any questions the directors may have.
Any questions for Ray on this item? Here are none. We have no comments from the public. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. And noting Benson's recusal. The motion is approved. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Let's move over to Brad Willows, advisor to the Chief Operating Officer, and he has an item on the agenda for us.
Morning, directors. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we are requesting that you approve acceptance of $9.4 million in grant funding from the U.S. Treasury Department's Small Business Opportunities Program, which is also part of the State Small Business Credit Initiative. We applied for this program. This was competitively awarded to ESD, and with this funding, we plan to launch what we're calling the Semiconductor Growth Access Program. This will roll out in regions with CHIPS Act investments already to provide technical assistance and holistic business development to existing firms to help them grow and or pivot their businesses to help serve the rapidly growing semiconductor manufacturing and supply chain cluster that's centered around Micron, Global Foundries, and Wolfspeed. The goal of the program will be to drive as much opportunity from the $112 billion in announced capital investment from these CHIPS Act programs to existing New York State firms, particularly those that are considered socially and economically disadvantaged, and position them to access other SSBCI capital programs that Ray's team manages here at ESD. This will be delivered largely by regional economic development partners in the constituent regions, which are Western New York, Finger Lakes, Central New York, the Mohawk Valley, and the Capital Regions in partnership with GoSemi, the Governor's Office of Semiconductor Expansion, Management, and Integration. Happy to answer any questions.
So Brad, the programs Ray just walked us through are federal funds, but they'll be used as sort of loans and or credit enhancements. And the program you just described is federal funds, but they will be grants.
So it will be grants to economic development organizations to provide technical assistance to businesses. So it will actually be hands-on business development work with the companies to help them figure out technology strategy, certifications, what do they need to do basically to serve a Micron or a Global Foundries or a Wolfspeed. So it's more on the business development side.
So the grants will go to chambers and EDOs and organizations and other not-for-profits like that, and they'll help the small businesses?
That's correct, yes.
Got it. Do any other directors have any questions for Brad on that?
No.
All right. And we have no comments from the public on this item. So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? The motion carries. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
So our spotlight presentation today, happy to have David Whipple, our Senior Director of Industry Development, and he's going to walk us through what ESD's role is when it comes to clean tech and clean technology. So David, the floor is yours.
Morning. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate the board and everyone having me here today for this. As mentioned, I'm David Whipple. I'm a Senior Director of Industry Development on the Strategic Business team here at ESD. And my primary focus is on growing the clean tech, renewable energy industry in the state. But I'd like to acknowledge that it's not something that I do alone. And here today is James Kostenblatt, Ashley Ivashenko, and not here today is another colleague, Mike Morse, who together we tackle the important work of growing our manufacturing in wind, batteries, hydrogen, solar, clean heating and cooling, building efficiency, clean transportation, circular economy, and a few others. So this presentation is kicking off what will be a series of industry spotlights from the strategic business team. So I thought that I should just briefly tell you all what the strategic business team does. So some industries that we cover, to name a few, are key priorities for the governor and the state, including agribusiness, life sciences, clean tech, renewable energy, craft beverages, digital game development, fintech, transportation equipment, industrial machinery equipment, optics, photonics, and several more. But these are the kind of the focus areas that we have. And what we do is we cover all 10 regions of the state, and it allows us, the industry-specific focus allows us to go a little bit deeper in terms of the knowledge within that industry. And we work with companies that are considering New York, either expanding or an attraction effort, and help them access sites, incentives, workforce providers, make the local connections they need to, and in general navigate the state. So we're kind of their tour guide through this process. So on to clean tech. I thought I would start with a fun fact or two. So did you know that New York State, at a New York State University, a SUNY university, we have a distinguished professor who invented the lithium-ion battery. So he's won the Nobel Prize for this work. He's been knighted by the King of England, as he's English American. But this technology has become so ubiquitous. I mean, we all probably have 2 lithium-ion batteries on us, in front of us at the moment. So he's a great partner to ESD in our attraction efforts to grow the battery industry here in New York. Another fun fact, did you know how innovative New York State is in terms of clean energy patents? We're number 3 in the nation for clean energy patents, number 3 for offshore wind patents, number 4 for battery patents. And we want to not just stop at the research and development, but we want to innovate here and make these products here. So I'm always amazed with what is, the base which we're building off of. New York is home to a range of companies in clean tech manufacturing. Some very large ones, household names like GE, GM, and Toyota Materials Handling, but also some innovative, higher growth companies like Plug Power, which is innovating the hydrogen industry. And so, this is the base that we're building off of. And it's important to note that all of these companies, all of these projects, these expansion growth projects, they have a variety of hurdles which we have to help these companies navigate. So in part, what we're doing to address this is a lot of collaborating. It's become evident there's really no one program that is the solution for all of these companies. So we have to collaborate. We've recently started somewhat of an informal working team we call the Green Round Table. And this includes members of strategic business, policy, small business tech development, which includes NYSTAR, ventures. We also have Office of Strategic Workforce Development, global, small business environmental support, and marketing, all convening on a monthly basis to talk about the latest issues, be it federal funding, hurdles, how do we navigate, being better supports for these companies? How do we show the value of New York? How do we bake in sustainability and the green economy into all of our work? So we're working together with that. And, I'd like to share some exciting progress. I know tax credit programs have been a topic of discussion, and so excited to share great progress with the Excelsior tax credit program, which has an enhancement for green projects. And so far we've used it, at least 20 times, but to induce 3,400 new jobs for New York State, using only about 100 million in tax credits to induce 1.8 billion in investment in New York State. And these are for, green economy things like batteries, wind power, hydrogen, et cetera. And actually, a quick side note on that for the board: if you're not familiar with these tax credits coming through the board, the approving authority rests just with the commissioner on this tax credit, this DED tax credit program. So, one key area we're looking at in terms of supporting clean tech manufacturers are the huge site and infrastructure needs that these companies have. Our experience and studies tell us that these manufacturing operations need a 100-acre site with at least 30 megawatts of power, which is a huge amount of power. So we're working through a variety of solutions here. One is the Fast New York Shovel Ready Grant Program, which we've done 25 announcements with, or 25 awards improving 3,100 acres of industrial property in New York State. And another is partnering with the Department of Public Service and the utilities on getting adequate power to these sites in the time that the companies need. Another key way we're approaching growing the battery industry in specific in New York is building the ecosystem. So the governor set a priority in the State of the State a couple years back to grow our battery ecosystem here. ESD did a $50 million grant, which was then matched in short order by $63 million from the federal government. And there's been great progress. This building on the screen will be a battery scale-up center, which will be a world-class asset, really none other around. And this is to bridge the gap between gigafactory scale manufacturing and the kind of pilot scale. So this is right in the middle, and it's led to a variety of other federal designations and grant dollars heading to the southern tier for batteries. And another key approach we're using is again partnership, and we've collaborated closely with our state energy office, NYSERDA. on a variety of efforts, including offshore wind, and in the case of this success story with a company called Firamar, with building efficiency. This company will be manufacturing panels, which will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and make buildings more efficient. It's a huge focus area. This will be creating jobs in a distressed community and helping us meet our Climate Leadership Community Protection Act goals, as buildings are the largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions in New York State. So this has been a key area of focus and key approach with partnering. So as I wind down here, I just want to highlight some themes. So, how do we continue to grow the clean tech manufacturing sector in New York State? So one, we need to continue to build the assets here. These include things like the Battery New York Center, that are great for workforce, for innovation, for manufacturing. Two, we need to continue to focus on sites, shovel-ready sites, power-ready sites that can meet the needs of these manufacturers. Three, we need to be the best partners in the U.S. When it comes to helping these companies. So, we need to help navigate the intricacies of doing business in a new industry. We need to help them with the intricacies of doing business in New York. And to do that, we need the capacity. That's why we have this team focused on this and not just one person. And finally, we need to tell the story. We need to help all of these great successes we've had with building the ecosystem, with the great assets New York has, with the clean energy upstate. All of these things, we need to tell the story and help companies understand that value so that New York is on the list. And here's a few reasons why I know that clean energy is here and is only going to continue to grow in focus. There's a wide base of folks who would all agree that with these premises. So we need energy independence, we need to reshore manufacturing, and we need national security. Clean energy does all of these things for the U.S. and New York. So it will continue to be a huge focus for the governor, for New York State, and we're happy to help deliver on that. So in closing, I really appreciate again the opportunity, and I could go on much longer, but to learn more, we'd invite you to sign up for this newsletter. It's only quarterly, so we're not spamming your box. We kind of round up some exciting things going on across all of ESD and our partner organizations, so you can keep up with what's going on in Cleantech. So thank you.
Good. Well, thank you, David. That was an excellent and concise report. And I speak on behalf of all the directors. Every spotlight presentation, we learn something neat that ESD is involved with, and it's exciting to see all the industries that we're trying to help here. When it comes to clean tech, is there like a definition of clean tech? Do you have to be going green, or you got to have some type of LEED certification? Do we sort of have any criteria as to what is a clean tech business?
So for the purposes of the work that we're doing, Chairman, it is a manufacturer that's producing a green, clean product. So it could be that they're producing a wind turbine component, a battery, some sort of product that enhances recycling efforts, but a clean tech product.
Got it. That's helpful. And do we help both startups and existing larger businesses, or do we primarily through these programs helping new businesses get off the ground?
Yeah, it's a great question, and certainly that's part of why we need to collaborate across departments, and why Strategic Business works closely with the Small Business Tech Development team, who via NYSTAR have great assets like the Entrepreneurship Assistance Centers, the Manufacturing Extension Partnerships, incubators, and then often the Excelsior tax credit incentive which I named, is for when the companies are ready to scale up and begin manufacturing these products in New York. So ESD covers a wide swath of the path to commercialization for these companies.
Got it. And I heard you say we collaborate with NYS. The Advanced Energy Research Center at Stony Brook. It's located here on Long Island, but it's a statewide sort of center of excellence. And I was wondering if there was any coordination with the startups that are emanating out of that institute.
Yeah, certainly, and I know. We've been in touch with some Stony Brook folks on clean energy. There's some federal programming that one department is pursuing, and then the MEP out of Stony Brook is focused on a variety of things, including offshore wind. So yeah, we've been collaborating with them as stakeholders and trying to advance various efforts.
Great to hear that, David. Thank you. And other board members, any questions for David? All right. Well, not hearing any. David, again, thank you. And Noah, if you could circulate David's deck to the board members and those who are not with us today, so everybody gets to see the great work that's being done in this division.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Right.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Noah, and thank you, David. Okay, we are going to continue now with the agenda and the regional projects section. And as always, we'll start in Western New York, and we have 4 items. And I believe Karen Utz, our Regional Director of ESD's Western New York Regional Office, is with us.
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, directors. The directors are requested to approve a $1,575,000 grant to Niagara Aquarium Foundation, which is doing business as the Aquarium of Niagara, to create an immersive living museum of Great Lakes freshwater habitat and nature programs called Great Lakes 360. The total project cost is $4,500,000. The $1,575,000 grant comes from 2 CFA awards, a Regional Council capital grant of $675,000 for a portion of the design and construction costs, and a Market New York capital funding award of $900,000 for a portion of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Removal of the parkway that separated the aquarium from the Niagara Gorge 500 feet away, where the vacant former Shelkoff Geological Museum sat, and where Great Lakes 360 now resides, created new visitor access and a campus-like tourist destination. The current employment is 42. The project is expected to create 13 new jobs, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any board members have any questions? None. We don't have any comments from the public. I'm going to ask that I'll move this, and I'm sure Francine from our Western New York region will, I'm going to go to you to second the next 3 as well, Francine. So Francine seconds it.
I do.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion is approved. Karen, continue with the next item.
Thank you. The directors are requested to approve a $9 million capital grant to the Zoological Society of Buffalo, doing business as the Buffalo Zoo, using Regional Economic and Community Assistance Program funds to be used for repairs and improvements to campus structures. The zoo identified 18 specific projects to fulfill regulatory and certification requirements, as well as to improve visitor, staff, and animal welfare safety. The expected completion is December of 2026. Because funds for this project will be dispersed during the course of construction, ESD is now recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for this project. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any questions for Karen? We have no comments from the public. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Karen, continue.
The directors are requested to approve a $2 million grant to Best Self Behavioral Health, Inc. From Regional Council Capital Funds. The total project cost is $20,937,900 and results in the extensive renovation for Best Self of an existing building on the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. The directors will be separately requested later this morning to approve a $2.5 million Restore New York grant awarded to Erie County also to support this project. Best Self is the largest community-based behavioral health organization in Western New York. The project location is Best Self's headquarters and consolidates administration into a single facility, expands Best Self's Child Advocacy Center, and includes a community training center for Best Self and other organizations to use for workforce development in the behavioral health space. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any questions? No comments from the public. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Last item, Karen.
Thank you. The directors are requested to approve a $323,000 grant to the town of Evans from the Regional Council Capital Fund to cover a portion of capital costs associated with the $2,284,300 reconstruction project of the West Breakwater at the Sturgeon Point Marina in the town of Evans. The marina, which is owned and operated by the town, offers 217 slips and also provides critical space for the Border Patrol, the Coast Guard, the Army Corps of Engineers, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and is the only harbor of refuge in a 60-mile stretch between Buffalo and Dunkirk harbors, an area known amongst the maritime community to have significant dockage shortage. Reconstruction was completed in late spring of 2024, and the marina opened to the public in May. With the project complete, the marina being fully operational, ESD is now recommending that directors approve the release of funds for this project. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? None. No comments from the public either. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Karen, good job on all four. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to Central New York. We have Daniel Klinsky, our Regional Director for ESD's Central New York region. He has 2 items.
Good morning, Chairman, and good morning, Directors. Today, you are being asked to approve an Upstate Revitalization Initiative grant of $500,000 to the Community Memorial Hospital to renovate the existing emergency department, expand the department by 2,400 square feet, add 3 additional rooms, and hire 6 new full-time employees. The renovations to the hospital allowed for a more streamlined intake process and created more efficient routing for patients and staff. The total cost of this project is $6,310,138, with 84% coming from company equity. ESD participation is 8% of the total project cost. The project is consistent with the Central New York REDC's plan to strengthen industry concentrations, improve connections to global economies, and revitalize our urban cores and main streets. The project is now complete and the jobs have been created, so we are requesting the release of funds from the directors.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions for Dan? All right, this is an item Benson is recusing himself on. We have no comments from the public. So I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Note the recusal from Benson. The item is approved. Daniel, continue, please.
The directors are being asked to approve a Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $750,000 to the Food Bank of Central New York to construct a 34,000 square foot expansion to the food bank's existing 74,000 square foot facility. This will allow more space to sort and pack donations and to create 11 new jobs. The total cost of this project is $8,350,000, with 27% coming from the organization's equity. ESD participation is 9% of the total project cost. This project is consistent with the Central New York REDC plan to support efforts to break down barriers to economic opportunity in the region and to support the growth and development of healthy communities in our region. The project is now complete, and they have exceeded their hiring goals, having hired 15 employees. So we're requesting the release of funds from the directors today.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions for Dan? No comment from the public? I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to the North Country region. And Stephen Hunt, our regional director for the North Country, is with us.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Law. I'm presenting one project from the North Country for board approval. We're seeking approval of a $3 million Fast New York grant to Clinton County for a portion of the cost of construction of infrastructure work at the new Clinton County Business Innovation Gateway Industrial Park at the old county airport. This project includes water, sewer, stormwater, electric, and roadways. The total project is $5,574,979 and is also being supported by a U.S. EDA grant and Northern Border Regional Commission grant. This project opens access to 135 acres for new industrial development, with another 300 acres now in the waiting. ESD is recommending the board authorize the release of this project, release of funds for this project as it is completed. Thank you, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions for Stephen? None. No comments from the public on this item either. Was that a comment? Or no? So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Stephen. We'll move over to the Capital Region with Mike Everly. He's our regional director in ESD's Capital Region.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, directors. Today I'll be requesting directors approve a $750,000 CREDC Round 11 capital grant for the Capitalized Albany Corporation in support of the redevelopment of a busy downtown street corner and underutilized public space into a public plaza called the Clinton Market Collective. The total project cost is just over $3.8 million, and the project was completed in August 2024. Grant funds were awarded to be used for a portion of the cost of real estate acquisition, construction renovation, infrastructure site work, furniture, fixtures, machinery, and equipment, and soft costs, including architectural, engineering fees, and archaeological monitoring. Clinton Market Collective is a fully redesigned, newly reopened outdoor market space located at 11 Clinton Avenue, a primary gateway to the capital city, and situated directly across from Quackenbush Square, as well as the downtown entrance to the half-mile linear park and riverfront connector known as the Skyway. The Clinton Market Collective is designed and built to facilitate pop-up, retail, and public events, and includes 2 shipping container vendor stalls and other flexible space to be used by the public. The project is consistent with the Capital Region Economic Development Council's planned place strategy. The place strategy recommends placemaking projects throughout the region that reimagine our communities and downtown by creating family-friendly experiences. The project is also a DRI project receiving just over $1.1 million via the Department of State. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Michael. Anybody have any questions? None. We have no comments from the public. So I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
I'll head over to the Mid-Hudson region with Linda Malavi, our regional director for the Mid-Hudson region.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Law and directors. The directors are being asked to approve a regional council capital grant of $780,000 from Round 11 to Viking Industries, Inc., located in the town of New Paltz in Ulster County. In business since 1973, Viking Industries provides innovative packaging solutions across a number of industries, including food and beverage, pharmaceutical, electronics, medical, and cosmetics. The COVID-19 pandemic led to increased online shopping and created a demand for corrugated cartons. Viking Industries met this demand and has constructed and equipped a new 45,000 square foot addition onto its existing plant. This $18.9 million project will add 13 new full-time manufacturing positions to the company's workforce and will retain 80 full-time equivalents. This project strongly aligns with the MHRADC's work strategy, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Linda. Any questions? None. There's no comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Market New York Grant Program, Ross Levy. He's our Executive Director and VP of Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. The Division of Tourism is asking the directors to approve a Round 6 Capital Market New York grant of $1 million to the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. Last year, the American Museum of Natural History opened an insectarium exhibition within the new Richard Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation. Market New York grant funding was used for a capital installation of the 5,000 square foot exhibit, including the creation of new exhibition cases, purchase and installation of digital interfaces, and larger-than-life props evoking insects and their habitats. Upon its opening, the London Times called the Gilder Center, quote, the most important attraction in New York, unquote. And during the center's opening year, between May 2023 and April 2024, museum attendance rose nearly 35% compared to the same period from 22-23. The museum attributes this rise in attendance at least partially to the opening of the Gilder Center, including the insectarium. The Museum of Natural History has met the required 80% minimum match for this project, which was completed in April of 2023. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ross. Any questions for Ross? None. There are no comments from the public. I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Ross. We have Restore New York Community Capital Grants with Simone Bethune. She's our Senior Project Manager and Coordinator of Projects for Loans and Grants. Simone?
Thank you, Chairman Law. We are seeking director's approval for a Round 8 $2 million grant to the Village of Boonville in the Mohawk Valley region. The village will work with developer Westax 2, doing business as Lodging Kit 2, to demolish 13,000 square feet and rehabilitate 175,000 square feet of a vacant property located at 210 Grove Street for use as Lodging Kit's new warehouse. The property comprises 3 adjacent buildings formerly serving as the Ethan Allen manufacturing plant, which closed in 2004. Lodging Kit, founded in 1989, is a veteran-owned wholesale supplier of household and linen goods for the commercial lodging industry. The project is ready to begin and will be funded along the course of work at a total estimated cost of $2.6 million, located at 899 Main Street. The grant will fund creation of a new headquarters for Best Self Behavior Health, Inc., which is an innovative community care organization offering mobile mental health and substance abuse services, homeless outreach and housing, and school-based programs. This is the same project being funded by a Round 12 Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $2 million, which was presented earlier by Karen Utz. That grant is being made directly to Best Self, and the Restore New York grant is being made to the county. As of July 2024, the property has been transformed, allowing for relocation and expansion of Best Self's headquarters and child advocacy center. Total project costs were approximately $20.9 million, with Best Self satisfying equity requirement of $8 million from philanthropic donations. And I can take any questions.
Thank you, Simone. And this was the item that received a Western New York regional grant as well that Karen shared with us earlier. Are there any questions for Simone? Hearing none, there are no comments from the public. I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The motion carries. The next item I'm recusing myself from, so Hope, would you mind introducing this item?
1 second.
With Joan Spivak.
Yes, so Joan Spivak will be presenting on this item. Thanks.
Thank you and good morning. We're seeking the director's approval for 3 New York First grants of up to $1 million each. The New York First program encourages recruitment or retention of exceptional life science researchers focused on translational research and provides support for capital and working capital expenditures. In 2022, 4 medical schools received New York First grants. The following 3 have met the threshold for board approval. Columbia University has recruited Dr. Julia Bayer from the University of Pittsburgh to serve as Professor of Pediatrics and Chief of Critical Care and Hospital Medicine. She is an inventor on 2 patents, has brought 3 postdoctoral research scientists from Pittsburgh, along with more than $4 million in NIH funding, and has raised an additional $1.5 million in funding. The total cost of this project is $3.5 million. Columbia is contributing $2.5 million. Mount Sinai has recruited Dr. Yizhu Dong from Ohio State University to serve as professor of the Genomics and Precision Immunology Institutes. Dr. Dong holds 13 patents and has brought 10 postdocs and graduate students from Ohio State, along with close to $5 million in NIH funding. The total cost of the project is $8 million, of which Mount Sinai is contributing $7 million. Stony Brook University has recruited Dr. Thomas Diacovo from the University of Pittsburgh to serve as chief of the Division of Neonatology and vice chair of pediatric research. Dr. Diacovo holds 3 patents, has brought 2 scientists from Pittsburgh, and has brought or raised more than $300,000 in funding. The cost of this project is approximately $3 million, and Stony Brook is contributing approximately $2 million. Thank you. Take any questions.
So I will call for any questions or comments from the directors. Hearing none, there have been no comments from the public. Entertain a motion for approval for this item. John, second. Calling for a second. Vincent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Hope, and let the minutes reflect my recusal on that item. All right, we will continue with our New York Ventures, and Jennifer Teagan, our managing director, is with us for a couple of items.
Good morning, and thank you, Chair Law, and good morning, directors. We're requesting that the directors authorize an investment commitment from the State Small Business Credit Initiative Community and Regional Partner Fund Program. This program was authorized by the directors in 2022. It's a $52 million program using federally allocated state small business credit initiative funds to provide up to $5 million in matching funds to entities that make equity investments in companies that receive services through an accelerator or an incubator. And those programs, the accelerators and incubators, provide structured programmatic support to mentor, coach, and support these high-growth potential companies on their path to success. The commitment requires that every dollar ESD commits is matched by private capital for every investment made by another dollar. A year ago, on November 16th, the board approved an investment of $3 million in Upstate Biotech Ventures, and today we're proposing a second investment of another $2 million in that same program fund. Upstate Biotech Ventures is a venture capital fund that is investing in biotech and life sciences companies who receive support through the Central New York Biotech Accelerator, which is based out of Syracuse. The first investment that ESD made a year ago of $3 million was private capital through the SUNY Research Foundation on behalf of the State University of New York, Upstate Medical University. That initial investment has catalyzed additional investment of another $2 million, which is why we're recommending that we raise the total investment commitment to this program fund to $5 million today. The private partners have put in $5 million, and it would be matched by ESD's $5 million. Upstate Biotech Ventures will use those funds to invest in high potential, professionally vetted startups affiliated with the Biotech Accelerator in Syracuse, and Excel Partners will act as the fund manager to manage the screening, diligence, and investment decision-making, portfolio management, et cetera, for the fund. The team at New York Ventures has been through a scoring and diligence process, evaluated the management team and the founder support provided by the accelerator, and as a result, recommend to the directors that we approve an additional investment.
Thank you, Jennifer. So these are federal funds that ESD will invest in the biotech ventures, the Upstate Biotech Ventures Fund, and then the Upstate Bio Ventures Fund, they'll invest in companies. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And will we, ESD, have any say in the companies that Upstate Biotech Ventures invest in, or do we give them the discretion to invest in whatever companies they think are best?
There are documented guidelines and protocols as to what they can and cannot invest in, and we make sure that they're following those protocols prior to them being approved to make that investment.
Got it. Thank you. Any directors have any other questions for Jennifer on this? Okay, we have no comments from the public on this item. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion is approved. Continue, Jennifer.
Great, and then the next three requests are related to the New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund. I'll present the first one, and then my colleague Karan Mehta will present the latter two. The first request from the New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund is also related to our state small business credit initiative funding to invest in Ithaca, New York-based SimpliFed, Inc. SimpliFed is a virtual maternal telehealth platform that supports families with baby feeding and other medical support for peri and postpartum care. The company, which initially was created to provide a broad access to lactation support services, has recently begun to expand its services to address the needs of more vulnerable patients, including those who have other pregnancy-related conditions such as mental health challenges, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Currently, the company is serving over 18 customers. This includes Medicaid providers, healthcare systems, and other insurance providers. And it has an additional 11 clients it's working to onboard, and as well as being in contracting with another 7 large corporate strategic partners. SimpliFed has already demonstrated improved outcomes for parents, including a greater than 50% reduction in emergency room visits for those who use the services of SimpliFed. The company is led by a successful entrepreneur, Andrea Ippolito, who has built a diverse team who are expert in technology development and sales for healthcare and medical applications. We're requesting up to $750,000 into a $4 million seed extension round of financing. Those proceeds will be used to allow the company to continue to close contracts, increase revenues, and expand its services to families. We previously invested $750,000 in this company in May of 2022. We evaluated For all three, I'll just make this caveat for all three of the investments, mine as well as Karan's, that the New York State Innovation Venture Capital team, along with our external investment advisory committee, evaluated all of these companies' business plans as well as the terms of their investment, and as a result of that analysis, agree that the market opportunity and growth potential offered for these New York State companies warrant an investment by the Innovation Venture Capital Fund and recommend its approval.
Thank you, Jennifer. If I missed it, I apologize, but have we ever invested in this company before?
In May of 2022, we provided $750,000 in their Series C financing, and this is an extension of that round.
So we were impressed 2 years ago and remain impressed with them, and so are investing again.
Correct.
The
company continues to grow and expand and really be kind of a game changer for the families and parents that are using the services.
Great. And they're in Ithaca. Do they have any relationship with Cornell, and they do anything with Cornell?
There's the founder. He is on the faculty at Cornell and has provided support services through programs for women students who want to be entrepreneurs. So that's, the primary connection is with her, but the company itself doesn't have any IP or relationship or anything like that with the university.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Do any of the other directors have any questions for Jennifer? Hearing none. I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Jennifer. Let's move on to Karan Mehta, who works with Jennifer, and he has 2 additional items for us.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We are asking the directors for approval of an investment of up to $500,000 in Firefly's pre-seed round of funding. We have made no previous investments in this company. Firefly is a modern, accessible, wireless panic button system designed to make schools safer during emergency situations like school shootings. Based in New York City, the company's hardware and software solution enables teachers and staff to quickly alert and coordinate with security and emergency responders in critical situations. Founded by diverse founders in New York City with experience from Apple and Verkada, the company has several pilots underway with schools across the country. Proceeds from this financing round will be used as working capital to grow its team, refine the product, and begin generating revenue. And I'm happy to field any questions on this one.
Thanks, Karan. Any questions for Karan? None. We have no comments from the public. We didn't have any comments from the public on the first 2 items either. So I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Karan, continue.
Thank you. So the second company we are asking the directors for approval of is an investment of up to $500,000 in Resource Monitor's seed round of funding. We have made no previous investments in this company. Resource Monitor is a New York City-based company that provides modern IoT-enabled water metering and monitoring systems for large-scale water users, particularly in the agriculture industry. Currently, farmers and small businesses rely on outdated manual technology to monitor their water. And so Resource Monitor enables remote monitoring of groundwater usage, which essentially means customers can track their water usage in real time on their phones. Founded by diverse founders in New York City, the company has helped its customers reduce water overuse by 30 to 50%. Proceeds from this financing round will be used as working capital to grow its team and refine the product. And happy to field questions.
Good. Thank you, Karan. Any questions for Karan on this? None. We have not received any comments from the public. So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thanks, Karan. Let's move over to the Empire State New Market Corporation. We have John Evan Hornsby. He's our president of Empire State New Market Corp.
Thank you and good morning. As you may recall, although the Empire State New Market Corporation directors approve projects for New Market's tax credit purposes, The UDC Act requires the ESD directors to separately determine that any such projects would otherwise be approved by ESD and demonstrate one or more goals detailed in the materials. On November 6, 2024, the ESNMC Board approved a federal New Markets Tax Credit allocation of up to $9 million to make investments to two separate borrowers to finance the renovation of FoodLink Inc.'s headquarters at its Mount Read site and the construction of a community education center at its Lexington site, both located in Rochester. Founded in 1978, FoodLink is a nonprofit with a mission to fight hunger and poverty through its food bank, one of only 10 food banks in the state, and its innovative programming related to food, nutrition, and workforce development. Pursuant to legislatively established criteria, ESD selects and prioritizes projects demonstrating certain goals. Based on the anticipated community impacts, the project was selected for its goals of creating and retaining jobs in low-income communities, increasing the provision of goods and services for low-income community residents, which would otherwise not be available at the same price or quality, supporting minority and women-owned or controlled businesses, and supporting environmentally sustainable outcomes. By adopting ESNMC's general project plan, finding the project achieved one or more of the goals, and making all other required findings, including conducting a hearing and an environmental review, this project would be authorized by the UDC Act and is being requested for approval by ESD today. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, John Evan. Any questions for John Evan? Hearing none. We have no comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, John Evan. And now we will go to our last item with Doug Janice, our Senior Counsel for Corporate and Real Estate, with our administrative actions. Doug?
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, directors. As a reminder, in order to streamline our board meetings, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with the administrative action items section of the agenda. So you receive a full set of the written descriptive materials for each of these items in your materials. But rather than having individual presentations made on each, I'm going to provide a brief summary of all of the items. At the conclusion, we can entertain any comments or questions that you may have. The 11 action items for this meeting are summarized as follows. Item 6A is relative to authorization to update language in previous board materials to correctly identify goals related to the utilization of businesses controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, or SEDI individuals, for previously approved investment transactions. This item concerns 13 prior investments funded through the State Small Business Credit Initiative program that were approved between October of 2023 and September of 2024. For these previously approved investments, the language in the section of the corresponding board materials that addresses non-discrimination and contractor and supplier diversity requirements needs to be updated to clarify the applicable federal goals that apply for utilization of businesses controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. The updates and issues do not materially impact the financial terms and conditions of the previously approved investments. The directors are being requested to authorize ESD staff to make updates to the information contained in the previously submitted materials so as to clarify the record and correctly identify goals related to utilization of SEDI-controlled businesses. Items 6B through 6H are all relative to authorization to enter into or amend contracts related to the Dairy Promotion Order Program, which ESD coordinates in conjunction with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets with the intended goal of supporting the dairy industry and increasing dairy consumption. Each of the contracts is for marketing and promotional services, with the exception of item 6C, which is for dairy research services. The contracts are as follows. Item 6B is a one-year contract with American Dairy Northeast for $10,300,000. Item 6C is a one-year contract with Cornell University for $1,716,560. Item 6D is a one-year contract with Milk for Health on the Niagara Frontier for $660,000. Item 6E is a one-year contract with the New England Dairy Promotion Board for $1,650,000. Item 6F is a one-year contract with Cornell University on behalf of Agriculture in the Classroom for $848,000. Item 6G is a one-year contract with the Animal Agriculture Coalition for $700,000. And item 6H is an amendment to the current contract with Cornell University on behalf of Dairy Product Runway that will extend that contract through June 30th of 2026 without any additional cost. Item 6I is relative to authorization to enter into a contract with Carasoft Technology Corporation in connection with DocuSign to provide easy-to-use digital transaction platform. Staff is requesting authorization to enter into a contract with Carasoft Technology for DocuSign services that will provide a cloud-based platform to allow users to upload, send, sign, and manage legally binding documents electronically and securely in the cloud. The contract will be for a 3-year term and an amount not to exceed $369,870. Item 6J is relative to authorization to amend the contract with Ernst & Young Infrastructure Advisors, LLC for market and financial feasibility services related to the Moynihan project. The amendment would increase the cost of the contract by $500,000 for an aggregate contract amount of $4,523,500 and extend the term of the contract by 5 years through December of 2029. Ernst & Young has worked on the Moynihan project since 2013 and has provided critical analytical support to the overall project finance strategy for Phase 2 construction, as well as invaluable support in the refinancing of the United States Department of Transportation TIFA loan in 2021. This amendment will permit the vendor to continue to apply their institutional knowledge with regard to financial modeling and strategy in the ongoing management of the TIFA loan. The contract is funded through the advertising revenue generated by the ESD-controlled digital network at Moynihan Train Hall. And finally, item 6K is relative to an authorization to amend the legal services contract with Skadden, Arps, Slate, Meager, and Flom LLP related to the Moynihan project. The amendment would increase the value of the contract by $50,000 for an aggregate amount of $1,150,000 and extend the contract term by 5 years through December 2029. Skadden has worked on the Moynihan project since 2014 and has gained prior experience and a unique understanding of the Moynihan Station project. Skadden has been instrumental in the negotiation of the development agreement for Phase 2 construction, the formation of the Moynihan Train Hall commercial condominium, and the amendment of the TIFA loan with the United States Department of Transportation. Staff is recommending that this contract be extended due to the firm's unique knowledge of and experience with this project. The contract is funded through the advertising revenue generated by the ESD-controlled digital network at Moynihan Train Hall. With that, I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any questions or comments you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. We also have item-related staff on the line today to take any questions. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Doug. Short and sweet and concise. Do any board members have any comments or questions for Doug on any of these items? All right, we have not received any comments from the public on them either. So I will move them.
Kevin.
John Wong seconds them.
Kevin, one quick note. I believe Benson is recusing himself on the first item, so we'll do one vote on that and then a separate vote on the remainder.
Did I miss that?
This might have been a late.
Yeah.
This might have been a late
Late breaking news.
Exactly.
Got it. I apologize. Okay, let's do that. So let's do so a motion on item 6A by itself.
Yes.
Correct.
That's right. So I will move it. John Wong seconds it. Benson is recusing himself. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None? Thank you. Motion is approved. And then on items B through K, again, there are no comments or questions from the directors. We have no comments from the public. I will move them. Hope seconds them. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None? The motion carries. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Noah, for the clarification. That concludes our official business for today's agenda. Do any directors have any other items they wish to raise at this point? Hearing none. I hope to you and the staff, just another very impressive job. Just jotting down some notes here. Today we took actions on items involving startup companies, energy companies, marinas, zoos, hospitals, small businesses, child care facilities, food banks, manufacturing, supply chain, small businesses for chip manufacturers, tourism, life sciences, biotech, outdoor markets, and dairy farms. I think we touch every region of the state and every business sector, and always very impressive. And the staff does a terrific job. And on behalf of all the directors, we thank you for the presentations. Our next board meeting is Thursday, December 19th in New York City. That again concludes our meeting. I want to wish, on behalf of all the directors, everybody a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. And I will move to adjourn. Francine seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Now, no frozen vegetables. No frozen